Hello folks, my name is Jason Smith and I'm here with the team at reallifetrading.com. In this video, I want to cover some of the more social aspects of tradingview.com, which is the software platform that we at Real Life Trading use every day. And it's what really separates TradingView from a lot of other software packages. But before we do that, I just want to point out the reallifetrading.com website. Because what you're going to find here is a lot of free information from everything about day trading to swing trading. If you're a beginning trader, you can start here to the free tab and work your way up to futures trading if you'd like. There's a lot of free ebooks here on candlestick patterns, Fibonacci secrets. There's also an ebook on the different types of gaps and what those mean when you see those appear on a chart. There's news articles that come out on just about a daily basis. You can get to those from under this tab here. There's also articles written about the lifestyle of a trader, how to get through some maybe the mental blockages that you find when you're in a pattern of losing money. How do you overcome that? There's articles on risk management, how to know exactly how much you should risk on each trade. There's also a premium content tab where if you'd like a little bit more, you can subscribe to our morning trading room, which is where we set up different day trades usually in the morning. There's also an afternoon trading room, which is more for swing traders that meets an hour an hour every afternoon. There's also a weekly options newsletter that Jeremy Newsom himself publishes every week, if you'd like to subscribe to that. There's also a professional trading service. This is kind of one-on-one coaching, if you will, mentoring, where Jeremy Newsom, the CEO of Real Life Trading, is a very successful trader. He's very kind, very courteous, and he'll work with you one-on-one to kind of get through maybe some of those blockages or that wall that you're hitting that you just can't seem to get through. Okay, so let me pull back over here to TradingView, and let's dive into what I believe really makes this platform unique, and that's the social aspects of it. Okay, one of the first things you can do when you're on TradingView is you can take a snapshot of this chart that you're working on and you can share it with others. Now you may have some drawings on here. Let's say you're in here and you're kind of drawing some different ideas. You've got a trend line here, and what you think Apple's going to do is it's going to bounce off of this temporary support and it's probably going to go higher. Okay, maybe up here to the previous high, which is at 176. Okay, and you may have some text here. Look to go higher from here. Let's say, so on and so forth. And you'd like to just share this. Let's say you're with a trading group. We have a team here at Real Life Trading that uses another chatting platform called Slack that interacts with TradingView. And you can just take a screenshot down here. If you click on this little camera icon at the bottom, what it does is it lets you take an instant snapshot of this chart, and it gives you a unique URL, okay, a static web page, or excuse me, website that you can send to other people. You can either copy it and it'll put it on your clipboard, and then you can paste it into social media that you use or another chat room maybe that you're part of. You can also save this image to your desktop, and what it'll do is it'll open up here in a new tab, and you can just right-click and save the image, okay? Or you can tweet it out if you've got a Twitter account that you've tied into TradingView as well. Okay. Now, if you'd like to go one step further, and really this is where the power of TradingView is unmatched in my opinion, is you can publish this idea out to the TradingView community, and other people can comment on your chart analysis. They can follow your chart. They can follow you as a person, and anytime you publish an idea, they can get alerted, and they can go in there and thumbs up or give you more reputation points if they think that you're just you're really on fire with your analysis, or they can just offer comments, maybe some advice. So let me go ahead and click on this publish idea button here, and TradingView is going to come up with the typical splash page that says, hey, make sure you express yourself in the right way. There's certain house rules that you need to abide by, so on and so forth. You can just go ahead and click continue publishing. And this is the bread and butter page for publishing your idea. The first thing you want to make sure you do is you give a really clear title that's a little bit descriptive of what you're publishing. Okay, so you don't want to just say thoughts on Apple or whatever. You want to actually give it a little bit more detail. You want to say maybe something like long-term projections on Apple for next 6 months. Okay. And there we go. Okay. Down here in the description box, this is where you want to give a little bit more information about your idea. Okay. Why do you think it's getting ready to do this? You could say, Apple bouncing off of a good support area, likely to break through resistance in next couple of weeks and head to new highs in 2018. Okay, now you could go into a lot more detail than that, but that's a pretty good start right there. Now, one of the other great things, I'll stay over here on this side of the page, that is really, really awesome, is you can now link to other related ideas that you've published about this topic, specifically this stock, let's say for Apple. So I'm going to pull this little box down, and I've got a few. Now these are just test ones. These are not actual ones you need to go follow. But I can, let's say, future projections for Apple 2018 that I published in the past. That's yesterday. Okay, I can link to that one. And I've got other ones I can just type in if I want to. Here's another one, long-term projections for Apple. Okay, and so what this does is not only does it give the user community the ability to see your current idea that you're publishing, but it also links back to some related ones that are like the one that you're publishing. So you may have one, let's say, from last December in 2016, and it was a projection for where you think Apple's going to go in the new year for 2017. So maybe you want to have an annual idea that you publish on a stock every year, and you could just see how you did at the same time of year last year. Let's move over here to the right side. Spend a little bit of time. You have two different types of ideas that you can publish. Probably 80% of the time you're going to use the analysis type. Okay, and that's because this is where you're going to be publishing a stock and you're given sort of the your thoughts on projections and where do you think it's going to go. Okay, but you can also choose education, and this one's really cool. If you're, let's say you're publishing a private idea, and it's really more for teaching people, let's say, what an inverse head and shoulders pattern looks like, and you're really just using the stock, in this case Apple, as a backdrop to teach somebody the candlestick patterns that are forming in a particular area. Okay, TradingView automatically defaults to analysis because that's probably what you're going to be doing. You can choose your investment strategy, whether this is a long bullish strategy that you're publishing, if it's a neutral to sideways idea that you're publishing about this stock, or if it's shorting, you're thinking this is a bearish play and you just want to let people know that's what your strategy is on this. I'm going to go ahead and choose long since that's what I'm using as the example here. And then you're going to set up three categories that best describes your approach here. Okay, so if I pull this little arrow down, I can go in here and I can choose different options. Okay, I might go in here in the trend analysis, and I had some support and resistance lines on here, and that's kind of maybe what I'm talking about in Apple. And I may just choose that as a category. Okay, maybe I'm talking about trend lines. Okay, and for the third one, I want to show how you can just put your mouse cursor in the box and then just type a category that you already know that you want to use. And for this one, maybe I'll say Fibonacci. I don't have Fibonacci on there, but let's say I did. I just put a checkbox in there, and very quickly, I've got my three categories there. Okay. And then under tags, this is where you can put unique identifiers for people to be able to find this idea in the TradingView platform. Rather than just saying Apple, which is a great tag, okay, you may want to say, let's say bullish, and maybe we'll say long term, and maybe we'll say something about, let's say this was a head and shoulders pattern, inverse head and shoulders pattern. Okay, these are tags that are built into the system that really helps define what your idea, your strategy is that you're publishing, so that other people can find it, and you as well. Lastly, before I publish this idea, you can share this idea not only to TradingView, but also to Twitter if you have a Twitter account set up here on TradingView, and also to StockTwits if you've got a StockTwits account that you'd like to link to. Now, before I publish, I want to focus on this little lock icon. Okay, right now I have it set to publish as a private idea. So that means that if the lock is showing that it's locked, then you're going to be just publishing it for you to see, and anybody that you share the link for this idea, they can see it as well, but not the general community. Okay, this may be an idea that you're not really sure about, or you don't really want other people to be voting on. It's just something that maybe you want to keep close to the vest, or just share it with your trading team. Maybe you're still learning or whatever. Okay, if you unlock this icon, then it will change into a public idea, and that's where it's going to be listed, out on your homepage, and be listed on TradingView for anybody and everybody to find. Okay, I also learned by publishing some previous ideas that you don't want to just publish a public idea with the intention that you may delete it later, because once an idea is published publicly, you cannot delete it. And TradingView even says in their support document that they don't even have a way to delete it. And I accidentally did that with some examples, and people are already starting to follow those ideas, and they're not really real strategies. So I'm just going to publish this as a private idea, and just click the button now. And now what it's doing is it's just going to generate that, and it's going to put it out on my page, and there you have it. So you've got your trend line that you drew, you've got some text that you put in here, so on and so forth. And you can still delete it within, I think, about the first 15 minutes. Or you can edit it if you found some problems, maybe you mistyped something. And if you scroll down here, here's your tags that you put in along the bottom of the chart. And then here's what you put in for the description down here. Okay? And then here's your related ideas that I mentioned earlier as well, that relate to previous ideas that have been published. Okay? Now, one thing you might want to do in a couple of weeks or several months, let's say, is you might want to give an update to this idea without publishing a whole brand new idea. Let's say that Apple reaches your target, okay? Or Apple is not doing what you thought it would, and maybe you're in a trade and you're going to tell others, hey, I'm going to close this trade early. It's reached my stop. I'm getting out. So if you click on Update Idea, the comment box allows you to choose some of those things as predefined comments. You could say close target reach, close stop reach, still actively trading this, so on and so forth. I'll just leave it as a default comment. And maybe I'll say, this is 3 months from now. Let's say March, time frame, and say okay. And then I'll just hit on the update idea. And when I do that, anybody that is following this idea or who follows me as a user on TradingView will get a notification that I just updated this. Really, really cool. It's kind of like almost getting an email that's very personal in nature to what you're wanting. Okay. Now, I'm going to close this. And if you're wanting to find this idea easier next time, rather than having to go search for it through a bunch of different links or bookmarking it, if you go over here to this little light bulb, let's say you're in your charting area and you want to look at your ideas very quickly, this little light bulb called My Ideas will bring up anything that you've published recently. Okay, you can actually go straight to publishing a private idea from here. You can change some of the settings only to look at your private ideas. If you've got ideas that are your favorite ones that you want to reference, so on and so forth. You can even do just ideas for the current symbol that you're looking at. Okay. So now what I'd like to show you is how do you follow other people's ideas? You've got your own ideas, but I want to follow the people that I like. Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can go up here, click on the icon in the top left, and you can go back to the home page of TradingView.com. And there's a lot of different people here. There's some authors over here on the left that have been rated very highly by the community. You can click on them and follow them just by clicking on the follow button here. If you put your mouse over their picture, you can click on their name and go follow them from their TradingView web page. There's another way to do it. If you go back here to your chart, and let's say you click on this icon again in the top left. If you go down here, you can see ideas that you've published. Again, you can see the number of people who were following you. But then you can also look at just the people that you were following. Now, right now, I have 0. But if I click on this link, it's going to take me over here to my page on TradingView. But it's going to put the cursor up here in the top with people chosen as the search criteria. Okay, so let's say I want to follow the real life trading team as they publish things all day long. Okay, so I just start typing in the name here, and I could choose them, or I can just hit the enter button. Okay, and right now TradingView just instantly took me over to their page. Okay, and you can see they've got very high reputation scores. Lots of people have been viewing the ideas since they've started publishing. Lots of likes, so on and so forth. But up here in the top right is the follow button. All you got to do is click on follow, and now you're following Real Life Trading. So anytime they publish a new idea, send out some sort of message, you can get or comment to an idea, then you can be notified of that. Okay. Now, let's say that you don't necessarily want to follow everything that Real Life Trading does, but you do like some of their analysis, especially on certain kinds of charts. And so you really like the cryptocurrency analysis that Real Life Trading does, which has become a very, very big area of interest for many people. So I'm going to click here on Bitcoin. Let's say I like to follow Bitcoin, and I really like the way Real Life Trading does their analysis on Bitcoin. Okay? Well, if you scroll down here, you can see this little star button, okay? And this little star button says follow this idea. And if you click on it, it turns blue. And that means I only really want to be notified when there is new information related to this idea on Bitcoin that Real Life Trading has published. That's very powerful, just the ability to do that. You can give thumbs up, which means this is a very interesting topic. I like it. Okay, and now if you close this and you go back to your chart that you're working on, you can go back to see Real Life Trading in a couple of ways. You can go back up here to your button, and that shows that you're following one person. You can click on that, and it'll take you over here to your following tab. And there they are under following. Okay, but let's go and find it another way. So I'm going to go back to my chart. And now, remember the light bulb here that just shows my ideas. If I come down here to the light bulb with the little radiating signal, this is the idea stream. And this is where it conglomerates all the ideas that you're following, whether it's one particular individual or whether it's just an idea of a particular individual. So I'll click on that. And what will happen is, I don't have any updates yet, but if Real Life Trading was to publish an update to that Bitcoin idea that I'm following, it'll actually show up here under the idea stream. Okay, so it says people you follow, ideas, idea updates, or status, if they update their status, or particular symbols that you follow. I'm not going to go into that, but you can actually follow just any ideas that relate to Bitcoin, no matter who the author is. That will appear here under the idea stream, and you can also change some of the additional notification settings for that as well. Okay, finally, what I want to cover is I want to cover the chat component of of TradingView.com, and there's a couple of them. You can go right here under the social heading, and you can go into what's called public chats. And these are just open public forums where you can talk to different people about cryptocurrencies, which, as I said, is a very hot topic right now. Forex, if that's your forte, just stocks and indexes. Specific traders in certain countries. There's a lot of different ones that you can participate in. And if you click the search box, then you can find an existing chat on, let's say, altcoins. Okay, and there's altcoins, which are coins that are not Bitcoin, like Litecoin, Ethereum, so on and so forth. And you can join that chat if you'd like and talk to people in there. And it's really, really active. I think there's probably some that are active, I'd say, every couple of seconds, and some that are maybe every couple of days. Okay, I'll close that now. The last one that I want to show you is private chats. And this is a great way if you found certain people that you follow, let's say they're in your trading group or trading club or specific authors that you like and you like to just interact with them one-on-one, well, you can open up this private chat box. And if you go up here to the add remove people to this chat button, okay, you can say, I want to add somebody. So I want to add real life trading. And they are very responsive, by the way. And if you click on that, I'm going to remove this person that I was talking to earlier and hit OK down here at the bottom right. Now you can see the flow of the chat that I've had with real life trading, which was just for demo purposes. But if it's somebody else, then you can have a running chat and you can go back and reference it at any time. And it's just a great way to kind of keep a running history of different information that you've shared with a particular individual. Okay, so I think that about covers it on the social aspects of TradingView. If there's any comments or anything you'd like for me to cover, please leave those in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.